Matateitísimo Longo, Gangulero, Palo. But, I started off working like Hoodoo, Entrevista, traditions.
Your practice come from Africa straight or to Cuba?
It was more Orisha, spiritual first, like just a table, just like a board.
Yes, but it comes from your tradition, from Cuba.
Yeah, I'm from Cuba first.
That means your host is Cuban?
No.
No.
Not now.
You separate? You split?
I don't say I separate. I acknowledge all.
Okay.
I acknowledge Afro-Cuban and I acknowledge tradition. They both good.
All right. Do you make do you do a specific palo, or you are also Hoodoo practices?
More palo now.
More palo.
Yeah.
But they are three different stuff. Orisha, palo, and Hoodoo. There are three different stuff.
Yeah, Hoodoo is more orthodox. And actually, we'd have never called it Hoodoo. This is voodoo. This is the home where the people from Haiti came to Louisiana, so it became Hoodoo in Tennessee, New Orleans, Mississippi. But in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, we call it roots or juju. That's what I knew coming up. When I came, I'm from New York, so when I went down south, they said, hey, watch out for root doctor, this and that.
For some people, the word hoodoo is new.
Right.
It's something new.
Yes, it is. It's something new.
From where it started?
From voodoo, from the word voodoo. So it's like when the Haitians, they come to Louisiana, Mississippi.
Yeah. So
later on, we got Marie Laveau, different different ancestors through the diaspora, through slavery, that were still practicing these traditions in secret.
So that must be better called like root works.
Yes.
Better than Hoodoo proper.
Root work.
Root work.
Yes.
All right. I understand that it is that they don't work with gods like Ocha do with Orishas.
No, they don't. They work more with nature. And then, too, it's a little Congo base as well.
Okay.
Because the people, you can see some of the Congo in roots.
Yeah. Okay.
Different things that they did, different things that they left.
But when you say they are more in nature, they work with the spirit of the nature or with the natural objective?
The trees, the plants, the roots, because that's why they call it roots.
More exactly.
They're using roots to make medicines, to make different things, to conjure.
But there is no something like they call the spirit of the world or the spirit of the water. No, it's not like that.
It depends on where it's coming from, because some places they still acknowledge God. But like if you go to South Carolina, like Charleston, North Carolina, those areas, Savannah, they dealt a lot with the Zimbi.
Yeah.
Zimbi, the spirits of the water.
Is it true that the Gulag Gishi can be split in between the Gulags on South Carolina and the Gish in Georgia?
To me, they're the same people.
It's the same people.
Just in South Carolina, they call them Gullah.
But that's true.
In Savannah, they call them Geechee. So that's why they call them Geechee, Gullah Geechee Nation.
Yeah. And why the people from North Florida, Jacksonville, how they call it?
They call them who?
How they call the people from North Florida, like in Jacksonville.
You're messing.
They are black people from the Gula Geechee Nation, but what are they? Gula or Geechee?
I would consider them Geechee.
Geechee?
Yeah.
More related to Georgia?
Yes. Because a lot of them people, during the Gullah Wars, a lot of the slaves and the natives, they was at war. Right? And they went to Florida. They was trying to get away to be free.
Yeah.
They went to Fort Mosaic.
Yeah.
That's why you see in Fort Mosaic a lot of Congo stuff.
Yeah. that they came from Georgia or from South Carolina?
Both, because remember, there was different revolts,
Yeah.
and they would get together and they would just people coming like, okay, we here, we all going the same place.
Okay.
Some of them made it, some of them didn't, but the ones that didn't make it, they made it to.
Something very interesting for me. The Hoodoo practices incorporate something from the Indian too.
From who?
From the Indian
Yes,
people.
yes.
So it's very open as a spirituality.
Yes.
And actually you can differentiate. You can say this is African, this is Indian. You can do that or no?
No, I wouldn't say that, because it's more of a conglomeration, because some root workers made this work just orthodox, just nothing. They just working in nature. Some work with the Bible. Some use the Psalms of the Bible, different quotes of the Bible to use their work, to make their work, so to speak.
Okay. Why is Hoodoo is so African and at the same time so Christian, so linked to Christianity?
Because just like in Cuba, Haiti, these different places, in the diaspora, the slaves, because remember, when the slaves got to Cuba, they mixed with the Tainos, it's different islands. The Tainos were there first. So here in the States, they didn't have nothing to back it up. Where in Cuba, Santo Domingo, they had Catholicism. So the Congos already came in. The Congos already knew how to mesh it, to cross it. Because remember, the Congos was already Catholics when it came to Cuba and these different places in the Americas. So they knew how to cross something to hide it. Where here, we didn't really have nothing to hide it from. No Catholicism, no saints. It was only Protestants. So it became roots of Hoodoo. So it was nothing to hide.
Yeah.
So these things became the church, spiritual Baptists. That's what we call it, spiritual Baptists in the church. So it was really hidden in the church, but it started out in like a tobacco barn, like a regular barn. People came in there, they met at a certain hour, and it was like, there was no, they had lanterns, no candles, and they would sing and pray, and people would get possessed. In the dance circle, we give messages on how they're going to get away. Like the spirit will come through somebody and say, hey, you're going to do this and do that. So this is how this is how the assembly of the church really came about. Look at the church, it looks just like a barn. So this is how it grew on, and it was just hitting the church. Most of your ministers, Frederick Douglass, different speakers from back then practiced roots, because they kept something on them for protection when they went out to speak.
So there were no contradiction between the Christianity and the Hoodoo practices at the beginning. There were no contradiction.
It was meshed, it was crossed, just like it was more of the practice per se. Just like, look at me, we had the saints. Every saint, we had to hide it from the master. And Legwa became this saint. Oshun became that saint. So on and so forth. So here, we didn't have a saint to hide anything, so it just became Hoodoo, where it was just hidden. Somebody just had a bag. And it was in secrecy. It was like more like Masonic. It was hidden.
Okay, if it is like that, why it is so hard for black Christians to speak about Hoodoo?
Because it was demonized. It was demonized here. It looked like it was evil and negative.
Okay.
So most people here, like my family, growing up, I came from that. Stay away from that. It's devil worship. But because my family was spiritual Baptist, everybody in my family gets quote unquote possessed in the church, speaking in tongues. It never happened to me. But when I was 12, when I went to my grandmother's house, I got possessed. When I was 12, my family had to hold me down. My father was always making jokes. I never heard the devil talk Jamaican, because my spirit speak with a patois. So I think it's more that we didn't have a basis to hide it behind the Protestant religion in the church. So, but this is the way it grew. And then you had, like, where I come from, with a lot of woodworkers who just work roots, you know, and maybe an old lady who she might just use cards. They use playing cards. That's what they would use. Or they would just read you. You come in, they just read you. There was no shelves. Just a playing cards where they just read you. Hey, you got this on you.
Okay, returning to your house. You say your original house is Cuban. What do you mean then? You went to Cuba or they were here?
I meet them. I meet them here.
Here.
Yeah, they're like different places I was at. I might meet somebody and they would tell me something. I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. So really, when I first got involved, it was like I was trying to find myself in that because I always been kind of conscious of and aware. But when I went into Botanica, I used to live in New Orleans. But when I would go into Botanica, the saints would kind of throw me off. 'Cause I was trying to get away from the church. So the saints would kind of throw me off. The saints would make me like, but then I had to study. So when I started studying, they was hiding behind those saints. Then I started thinking, this was in the 90s, 80s, and I met some other people here in Georgia, and I started practicing with them.
Okay. You start by Ocha, what we call Ocha is the original religion.
Yes.
You start by that. Who is your head, your son of? Ogun. That's why you're Gangulero.
But I'm not.
No,
I don't have Ocha.
No, that's why you're Gangulero. It's Ogun.
Yeah.
What is the patron? And the patron of your gang is en la tierra.
Subhano and Sasi.
Subhano. That's something strong.
Subhano and Sasi.
That's something we're talking about, okay? No more. No, I don't do that anymore.
So I have a Congo who lead me to this. My Congo, they've been with me since I was 12, led me to the whole, all of the spirituality, Hoodoo, Risha, and I used to practice voodoo.
You are a seer.
Yes.
You see?
I used to work the Misa too, get possessed. You know, the spirit come down. I got a female spirit, she come down. One from my mother's side, one from my father's side, but she like to put on a dress, smoke a cigarette, with a shawl, put powder on. I come back like, so I'm like, no. Put her down. I didn't put her down, but I'm like, okay, I understand. Look, let me talk. Let me talk to you.
Okay.
But when she come, she like to put that dress on. I'm like,
it's blue.
a different color.
Different, oh yeah.
7 different color?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's from, okay.
My mother's Oya.
Okay.
Oya.
Oh yeah.
My mother.
Your mother is Oya.
Father.
Wow, that's very strong connection.
Yes.
You are a good worker from the beginning.
Yes.
From your family tradition.
I wouldn't say that because my grandmother was a minister, but people used to come to my house. And my grandmother used to pray for them. Lay hands, you got fire, she pray over you. Go to the hospital. Break your ankle, she pray over you. Get up and walk. She had the power in her hands. I never believed it